Here is a 2004 Lexus Gx470. Problem with this vehicle was a bad transmission, which we have it right here sitting on the table. We already put the other transmission in here. Let's see. And it's bolted up. Under the car. However, as you can see, something is missing, which is the transfer case, which is right there. Now, the reason we got the transfer case off, we had this, we were test driving this vehicle, and the transmission was shifting okay. But what happened, the transfer case will pop out of four-wheel high and go into neutral. And if you held it low, it would pop out. Now, the customer said it wasn't doing that before. I didn't test drive it to see if it was or not, but we took it back out so we could see if something was not right, or was it on the inside of the transfer case. Well, after mulling over this thing, I noticed something, and let me see what's down here. On the old one, which has this extension housing here, it had the dowel pins on here. There's a dowel pin there and a dowel pin there. I was going to take this off just to see if there was a difference, but I noticed the dowel pins are missing, are on here. And the one that we put in had no dowel pins on it, and also they weren't in the transfer case at all. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take those dowel pins off that old transmission there and put them inside the one that's in the car, and then I'm going to see if that will cause this transfer case from popping out of gear. Okay, this part here is forward. What would happen now, if I turn this shaft here, the back would turn, but what happened, it would pop out of gear. So if I turn this, this wouldn't turn, and you had to hold this, you have to hold this shifter back. So you have to push it back, which would move this forward. So did it go? Okay, it's forward. So turn this, this would turn. Now, if this is not lined up right, it's possible that this part here was hitting against something and not coming all the way back or out. What it could have been hitting is, let's see here, that part. Well, let me show you on the this one that's out already. That part that moves back and forth moves back and forth here, inside of here. But there is a little, what would you call it? A gusset, I guess, that's sticking out. And if that's not lining up properly, it's possible that it can hit this gusset and not go all the way out like it's supposed to. Now, the dowel pins will put that in the right position for, I believe, to slide beside it, not to hit these protrusions that's sticking out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put take these dowel pins out of there and put it inside the one in the car, and then put that transfer case back up, and then see if it pops out. If it does not pop out, that means that these dowel pins were important. They were causing the issue. They're important anyway, but now we're going to find out. That's something that we overlooked, putting these dowel pins in. If it still pops out, then that's going to mean it's in the transfer case, and then I'm going to do something different. What I may do, since it's still working fine, if it's in the transfer case, then I'm going to block this from going back, from going that direction. But we'll see. We're gonna put the dowel pins on.
This is Anthony Grant. I was just calling to let you know how the Lexus was doing. It's doing fine. I even got the windows to go down. I just had to do like a reset to the windows. But everything's working good. I appreciate all your help. Thanks. Bye.
All right. So that was the message that let me know that on that Lexus, the dowel pins were the problem. They were the ones that allowed that transfer case to jump in and out, or to pop out of gear to put it in neutral. So the moral of the story here is to make sure to put your dowel pins in so it will line things up and you won't have any issues. I do know that we have to put them in transmissions. Some people try to leave dowel pins out. You don't want to do that. If you leave the dowel pin out, then it will not be lined up with the bolts. The bolts are just too loose and it will allow it to move a little bit, and that's probably what was happening with the transfer case. So once again, if you're having an issue with your transfer case popping out, check to see if it had dowel pins. If it did, make sure they're in there.